y'all, welcome to Criminally Creative, a channel about my various creative endeavors. Today is Wednesday, January 1st, 2025, and this is episode 74. I'm Susan. You can find me on Ravelry as Legal Eagle and on Instagram as Criminally Creative, the number 1. Today is not going to be a usual episode. This will be my end of 2024 / beginning of 2025 WIP Parade. And because of that, I am not going to talk about a lot of my normal stuff. First of all, I need to figure out what I'm talking about. Sorry. I wrote down all my WIPs. I didn't think about how to do the intro for this. If you are new here, I appreciate you checking me out. I know that we get a lot of new viewers with WIP parades. And if you're returning, I appreciate you coming back and watching. For those of you who are new here, since a lot of people watch WIP parades of people they don't normally follow, I'll just give you a little bit of brief intro of myself. Like I said, my name is Susan. I have been cross-stitching since I was 7, which is almost 50 years now. Will be 50 years. I will be 57 later this year. So, however, I took probably a 20 to 25 year hiatus from my late 20s until, a few years ago. So, but I am also a multi-crafter. I knit, I spin, I weave, I do a little bit of sewing. Cross stitch has kind of become my primary again. So I do my knit. On my regular episodes, I will usually show a little bit of knitting, maybe a little bit of crochet, sometimes some other crafts that I get into. I love crafts, but right now cross stitch is my primary focus. And this WIP parade will be all cross stitch. There will be not be any other crafts. Personally, I am an attorney for the state of North Carolina. I work for the North Carolina General Assembly in a nonpartisan role. I work for both the House and the Senate, both the Democrats and the Republicans. So I do not advocate, and also for that reason, you will not hear any political commentary or a lot of issues that are relevant in the news will never be discussed here just because I have to maintain my nonpartisanship as far as anything public goes. So don't confuse that with me not having opinions. It's just that they will not get expressed here at all. I will do my best not to express them. Anyway, moving on from that, I am married. I have 2 children and 4 grandchildren, and I live in Central North Carolina. I think that's about it. If you have any questions, I'm always happy to try to answer them. And I guess that's about all. We will move into cross-stitch stuff. I am still feeling a little grinchy. I figured I'd do Grinch one more day and have my Grinch, the only Stanley I've ever bought, which I paid a ridiculous sum of money for because it was engraved with Grinch stuff. But, we all have our things. Anyway, let's get started. I am a stat person. I like to I track my stitches. I track my stats. It's motivating to me. I try to share that with y'all generally. I think some people like it. Some people could care less, but you can always skip that part. So I thought I'd start with giving you some stats for 2024. I started 2024 with 85 WIPs. During the year, I started 29 new projects. I finished 19. You will see during this today that I'm going to UFO 2, and therefore I ended 2024 with 93 WIPs. I did a total of 195,358 stitches in 2024. I stitched on 311 days, 892 hours on 92 projects. My most stitchy month was in March when I did 19,060 stitches, and my least was in September when I did 9,336. We'll talk, my work hours fluctuate, so some months I'm really good. other months less. That September this year is be lower because that was the month that we took like a 10-day trip and I didn't stitch a whole lot. Um, so I also track my projects by size. I started 2024 with one project that I would classify as a mini. I'm ending 2024 with 0. Started with three projects I would classify as a small. I'm ending the year with 0 of those. I had 13 medium projects at the beginning of the year. I now have 17 medium projects. I had 45 large projects at the beginning of the year. I now have 51 large projects. Excuse me. And I had 23 BAPs, big ass projects, big awesome projects, whichever you prefer. At the beginning of the year, I now have 25 BAPs. So as you can see, I am drawn to the large projects and the gigantic projects. Because of that, a lot of the finishes I have will be smaller projects, and every once in a while I'll have a great big huge finish. If you have watched me before, you'll know that in 2024, my big finish was I finished One Nation. So I do try to finish at least one larger project each year. And I do that in a variety of ways. I will do my next episode, which I will probably record sometime through this weekend, will be more about my 2025 plans and kind of some of the games that I play to help motivate and track and stuff like that. So anyway, hopefully some of you at least find that interesting. I think that's it for the stats. Let's move on into the WIPs. I'm going to do this in chunks. I have 3 31 totes and 2 other bags full of WIPs. As I just said, I have 93 WIPs. I'm actually going to show you 95. Well, not really, sort of show you 95 because I am UFOing 2 projects. And then I had one other on my list that I'm taking off the list, but it's mostly done. I think I'll explain that when I get there. Anyway, these are in chronological order from the date that I started them, because that's how my brain works. So, I will have to pause periodically to shift bins. I apologize. I'm going to have to turn behind me to grab projects because of the way I've got this set up. I had hoped to get myself coordinated enough to do this Monday or Tuesday while my husband was at work during the day, so I could do it out in the living room and have a little more room to spread out, but I didn't get my shit together. So I'm back in my craft room, which means as you can see, there's chaos behind me, so I don't have as much room to move. Anyway, first up, this is in a bag by the Brass Button. I am going to try to remember to show the bags. If I forget, I apologize. There's a couple of bags I can never remember the makers, and I apologize for that, but the other thing is, as I talk, I will post pictures of the project as it will look when it is finished, like a photo of the finished project. And then I will also post, if it's not a 2024 start, I will post a picture of what it looked like at the end of 2023. So if you have watched me before, I usually post a picture of what it looked like the last time you saw it. For the ones that I have worked on this year, the picture you see of past progress will be the end of 2023, not the last time you saw it, so that you can see the full progress of the year. The stats I will be giving you are, if I worked on it this year, I'll tell you how many stitches I did this year. Then I will tell you how many stitches have been done total. And if I have it, I will give you a percentage done. So first up, this is Treasure Hunt Bookshelf, which is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs based on artwork by Amy Stewart. I have, for now, the fabric I'm working on is big enough for the entire project, but I have decided, for now at least, to work this as a cropped version of the left side of the picture from top to bottom, and the picture I'm posting will be the cropped part I'm doing. So my stitch counts for this are based on that cropped version. I started this approximately July 31st, 2016. Oops, let me get that. In 2024, I did 2,097 stitches. I'm currently at 11,341, which is 11.9% of the crop version that I'm doing. And the gridding up over here, that is the total width of where I'm going for my cropped version. So this is going to end up looking kind of like one of those story keeps, you know, the tall, skinny ones. Assuming that's where I stopped. I decided that this project is large enough that, and the part that I really like is that left side, so I would do that left side, and I'm not going to cut the fabric for now. If I decide after I do that left side that I want to do more of the project, I have the fabric and I will just move from there. This is on 25 count even weave. As you can see, I'm gridding it myself. As I show full coverage, almost all of them will be on 25 count even weave. Most of them will be on 25 count easy grid, because once I found that, that's what I prefer. If it is full coverage and it is something other than 25 count even weave, I will tell you. Otherwise, presume if it's full coverage that it's 25 count even weave. So that is that for that one. And I have to put this stuff back in as I go because otherwise it's chaos. This one is in a Ruth Bader Ginsburg bag that I got from Lynn X Stitch Creates. This is Kingdom of Books, which I bought as a kit. It is a Russian kit. My kit is from what translates as Make It With Your Own Hands. I started this approximately August 31st of 2016. This in 2024 was the project that I was putting at least 2,000 stitches a month in. This is the project for 2025 that I'm going to try to finish. This is where it currently is. In 2024, I did 25,727 stitches for a total of 36,241 stitches, and it is currently at 53.2%. So I have done that much. There's this much more over here to go. So again, like I said, I'll do a later plans video, but so you will be seeing this regularly in 2025 because I am going to try to finish it this year. And that is it for 2016. 2016 is when I kind of started back into cross stitch for a few months, and then I didn't again. About early 2017, I kind of petered out again and didn't really pick it back up again until late 2020. So my next project is from 2020. This is in a brass button bag. And this is Across Winter Lake, which is charted by Gecko Rouge, based on artwork by Joe Grundy. Gecko Rouge is a kit-only company. You cannot buy just the patterns. You have to buy them as a kit. And I have several kits, but this is the only one that I have started. I started this December 7th of 2020. And this is where it is. In 2024, I did 827 stitches for a total of 7,188 stitches, and I'm currently at 5.8%. And this is pretty much when I discovered the 25 count easy grid. As you can see, my older projects tend to be the full coverages, ones that take a lot longer to finish. This next project is in a bag that I bought. I think it's Allegra. There's a label on here somewhere. Allegro stitches, and it's a like portfolio, got two inside. This is Quarantine Cats. This is also charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, based on artwork by Bridget Ashwood. Figure out where my stitching is on this. I started this February 25th of 2021. This is on 25 count potato Lugana, which is, and so I'm gridding it myself. Sorry, I'm trying to get it so that I can bring it up closer at some point. So this is where it stands. This I did 2,168 stitches in 2024 for a total of 12,601 stitches, and it's currently at 3.7%. This is my largest project based on stitch count. This is like 350 some thousand or something like that. I have more recently really started only like minis or smaller full coverages because I'm just trying to be realistic about what can get done, which is also one of the reasons I cropped Treasure Hunt. This is one that I looked at the point that I was a year or so ago. I looked at maybe switching it to a mini or something like that. But when I looked at the mock-up, I didn't like it as much, and I just decided I like that image enough that if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do the full image. Sorry, I was just getting a little bit, another stack that's easier to reach. And I'm going to, that is not like max color or super size, just regular size. But if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do that. It might take me till I die, but. Okay, next up, our first non-full coverage. This is in a bag. I think it might be Gamma Stitches, or this might be no, this is the bag designer. I can never remember the name of it, and I apologize. I can't even find it anymore. This is Tree of Magic by Barbara Anna. I bought this as a kit from Nitka Moscow. I'm not sure. I think you can get their kits right now. They're maybe distributing through another way. I'm not positive. Excuse me. I started this May 1st of 2021. This is on a 32 count fabric that came with the kit floss, 2/2. And in 2024, I did 2,243 stitches for a total of 6,557 stitches. This is currently at 60.7%. And this is, I have a kind of a list of projects that I'd like to try to get finished in 2025. They're not like any hard and fast goals. They're just kind of the ones that I've identified that I might, I'd like to try to focus on a little bit more. And this is one of them. I'd like to get this one finished. Because I also have the like Christmas tree version of that. And then I also have the like Four Seasons girls from Barbara Anna that were sold through Nitka Moscow. Okay. Oh, and I should have mentioned when we got to Quarantine Cats, we moved into 2021. I told you a date, but this is in a bag by Lynx Stitch Creates. This is O Feathers by Rosewood Manor. I started this May 15th of 2021. I'm doing it on 36 count antique white fabric, and I'm doing it with called for sulky floss. And in 2024, I did 563 stitches on this for a total of 6,713, currently at 49.7%. And this is a Lynx Stitch Creates bag. This is the Snow Queen by Mirabilia. I started this on May 30th of 2021. I am doing it on the called for Witchelt 32 count in Twilight Blue with all the called for floss. And this is where it stands. In 2024, I did 2,293 stitches for a total of 7,427 stitches, and I'm currently at 27.1%. I forgot to mention, if you're new here, I have almost all of my projects in markup RXP. And that is where I get my stitch counts and my percentages from, if I have them. Next up is in a brass button bag. This is Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow by Carriage House Samplings. I started this on June 10th of 2021. I am only doing the top 9 blocks. I am not doing the last row of this. So my percentages and numbers are based on that. I'm doing it on a 27 count Linda even weave in the Whisper color 1/1. And in 2024, I did 2,473 stitches for a total of 16,981 stitches, and I'm currently at 35.6%. And you can't, I'm trying to decide, so you can kind of see it, that light blue, that's supposed to be white, but no white is showing up on my fabric by itself. The white that's here is a forbidden fiber that has a hint of something else in it, and it's largely surrounded by other stuff, so it's going to show up better. But these snowflakes up here, I've switched to a kind of a light blue, which is actually darker when you look at it in the skein, but I don't really want to go any darker, so I think that's where I'm going to stick at. In person, you can see it, and it's going to be background, so it is what it is. Get another little stack over here. Next up is in this bag from, oh my goodness, I buy bags from her all the time. Creative Carol. Sorry, I couldn't think of it. And it has stuff inside too. This is Halloween Quaker by Leela Studio. I started this on June 30th, 2021. I am doing this on 40 count Fiber on a Whim, the Heather colorway. And I did 2,593 stitches in 2024 for a total of 8,627. And it's currently at 47.9%. I am doing this with mostly the called for floss. I have added, I think, 1, maybe 2 purples just for a little variety. A couple of places where there's smaller black motifs, I'm doing in a different shade of purple to add a little bit more color to it. Okay, this is in a bag by Gamma's Treasures. This is Winter Cabin, which is a Dimensions Gold kit. I started this, this was my birthday start in 2021, so October 6th, 2021. I am doing it on the kit fabric with the kit floss and all the called for. This is one of the few projects that I have not put into markup, mainly just because I haven't gotten around to it. I could probably get it in there, and I just, for whatever, I do this one instead on GoodNotes. I have scanned it. I just haven't bothered to set up the grid and mark off everything I've done in markup yet. So I do not have percentages on this one or total numbers, but I'm doing it on the kit 16 count gray Ada. In 2024, I did 1,757 stitches on this for a total of 7,877 stitches. If I had to guess, I would say that's close to 25%. So a lot of these background stitches are half stitches, which is, you know, why they call them dimensions kits. um, Next up is in a bag by Lynn X Stitch Creates. One of my favorites. I love the fireflies, lightning bugs, whichever you prefer. This is Moonlight Sampler by the Blue Flower. I started this November 15th, 2021. I'm doing it on 40 count linen, hand dyed by Rolanda in the Dove Gray color. And in 2024, I did 2,429 stitches for a total of 10,900 stitches. It's currently at 48%. So what I did this year was this area right here. And my last 2021 start is in this bag from the Brass Button. This is Winter Rose Manor by With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. I started this December 22nd of 2021. And it's on 36 count XJU design fabric in the Milk Coffee colorway. And I did not work on this in 2024, so it looks exactly like it looked at the end of 2023. It currently has 5,106 stitches and is at 31.7%. And that gets us to 2022. So this bag is by... Oh, there it is. Buckleberry Quilts. It actually lives in my hometown. Sorry, itchy nose. This is Pandemic by Long Dog Samplers. I started this January 1st, 2022. I am doing it on 40 count antique white. And I'm using a Silks for You floss that is a variegated blues. And I'm doing a little bit more of a tealier blue for the animals, which will not show up very well on camera. My camera just doesn't really pick up, like, that peacock right there is in a little bit different color, but I use my phone to record, and it really just does not pick up well the difference in shade. It's more visible. Well, you can see it a little bit. It's a little more visible in person. Anyway, in 2024, I did 1,371 stitches on this. I'm currently for a total of 11,528 and currently at 14.9%. Next up is in this bag by Whip It Up. This is Sleepy Hollow by Glendon Place. I started this on January 8th of 2022. I'm doing it on 28 count Picture This Plus Nocturne. I am using the called for anchor floss. And this is where it is. In 2024, I did 840 stitches for a total of 7,168. It is currently at 37%. Next up is in this brass button bag. This is Winter White Santa by Mirabilia. Oh, crap. Sorry, I got a thread from my fabric stuck, like one of those stray threads stuck in the zipper. I started this January 15th of 2022. Sorry, I was just noticing I haven't stitched the edge of this fabric. I probably must have fray checked it when I started it, but I need to go back and stitch along the edges because the fray check's wearing off. Anyway, this is on 32 count XU design Little Dove. Excuse me. I did 610 stitches for a total of 4,839, and I'm currently at 16.5%. I have managed to get, I think I'm trying to think through my head if I've gotten I think all of my Mirabilia is now in the markup. You know, the problem with the Mirabilia patterns is they're so big, so you have to kind of scan with overlaps and then set your grids right, and the cream paper, you end up basically manually having to assign all the symbols, but to me it's worth it. I just do it section by section as I work. Next up is in a brass button bag. This is Cardinal Points. Excuse me. The design is by Long Dog Samplers. It was done in collaboration with the Gentle Arch Threads. I started this March 8th of 2022. This is not available on the Long Dog website. I bought my kit, I think, from like Traditional Stitches. Somebody told me on my last episode that they had been able to buy it relatively recently from their LNS, which was, I can't remember. If you go back and look at the comments from episode 73, somebody commented that they had recently bought it at their LNS. So if you're looking for this, that might be a place to start. Long Dog Samplers, I started this March 8th, 2022. I'm doing it on 36 count white with the called for Gentle Arch threads. I did 876 stitches in 2024 for a total of 4,358. It is currently at 20.8%. Next up is in a bag from Lynn X Stitch Creates. This is a Tasket by Rosewood Manor. I started this on May 1st, 2022. It was a stitch along with Pam from Stitching in the Land of Good Enough, who also owns Stitch New England. I did not keep up with the stitch along. I knew I would not. Sorry, I'm trying to get threads so you can see the actual pattern. I knew I would not keep up with the stitch along, but, you know, I wanted to start it. This is... I'm doing this on 36 count Be Stitch Me and Not Another Sampler. Oh, it's going to fall, but this is where I am. I have done 846 stitches for a total of 5,914. It is currently at 27.7%. This pattern has a lot of color changes, which is why I have that little needle parker, and I basically have a thread for just about every color on a needle so that I don't have to keep rethreading my needle. Normally, I put a color on my needle and I just go wherever that color takes me until I can finish the thread. But this one, there would be so much counting to hop around some of that. I worry about getting it wrong. So I do the few stitches in the areas that I can, and then I put the needle on that needle parker with the thread still on it, and then pick up the next one so that I don't have to keep constantly rethreading my needle. But I am doing this 2/2. 36 count is kind of depends on the pattern to me, whether I do 2/2 or 1/2. This is one of those patterns that I wanted the like plumpness of the stitches. So I am doing this one 2/2. I often forget to tell you whether I'm doing 2/2, 1/2, that sort of stuff. If it's on 40 count, it's going to be 1/2. If it's 32 or below, 32 or 28, it's going to be 2/2. 36 count is the one where it depends on the pattern for me. Next up is in this bag from Creative Carol. This is Let Love Rain by Teresa Kogut. I started this May 7th of 2022. I'm doing it on 40 count flax, just Zweigart flax. And I am doing a little bit of color change. The words are supposed to be in a brown. I'm doing it in a blue. I've added in a couple of extra blues in place of some of the browns, just to have a little bit more blue. I have done 2,164 stitches for a total of 5,256, and this is currently at 11.9%. This is a very large project. Why is that? That needle should not be where that is. I do keep a needle in all my projects, but what I generally do is I put it in the... Oh, come on. Sorry. I just needed to... For some reason, I left the needle in the middle of the project, which I don't usually do. I usually weave it into the selvage because I don't care if it leaves a hole in the selvage or rusts in the selvage or whatever. I've never had a needle rust. I mean, I had a project that I started in the 90s, and then when I pulled it out in like 2020, it still had a needle in it, which was not rusted. So the fabric was hard and crunchy, but the needle wasn't rusted. Okay, next up is in this brass button bag. It's brass button. No, this is Lynn X Stitch Creates, not brass button. This is Kringles by Little House Needleworks. I started this on May 21st, 2022. I am doing it on the called for 30 count Legacy Parisian Gray. Called for floss. This is where it is. In 2024, I did 507 stitches for a total of 3,502, and it is currently at 10.7%. So I haven't really gotten to the fun stuff yet. I did start shaping that one room so that I could have something besides roof to go to. I tend to do that a lot with my projects, is I will start with the boring stuff or whatever, work my way to something a little more interesting so I can like go back and forth and not leave all the boring stuff to last, but not have to do nothing but boring stuff forever. Excuse me. Next up and last in this batch is in a brass button bag. This is Blue Ridge, which was charted by CarlStitch.com, based on artwork by Derek McRae. It's still in a frame because I'm doing this as temperature stitching, and you can see the whole... It's a smaller frame than I normally use, and you can see the whole pattern in it. So I started this May 28th of 2022. This is one of my smaller full coverages. I did 882 stitches in 2024, and it is currently at 4,064 stitches, which is 10.8%. So that is the full width of the piece. And that is the end of my first bin. So I'm going to pause and go get another one. Okay, next up is in this bag by Lynn X Stitch Creates. This is Rejoice Evermore by With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. I started this on June 10th of 2022. I believe, if I remember correctly, I started this at StitchCon the year I went. This is on 40 count R&R Barb's Blend. And I did 555 stitches for a total of 2,807. And this is currently at 12.2%. And I am possibly changing some of the blues in that because the called for is not quite what the picture looks like, and I like what the picture looks like, but I haven't gotten there yet, so I haven't decided. This is in a bag from Cricklewood Crossing. I think I have that right. There's no label on there. This is Lady Liberty by Twin Peak Primitives. I started this July 1, 2022. It's on 36 count Mystic Pearl. Wow, this one's really wrinkled. Sorry, I don't iron for these things because I just don't have that much time or that much motivation. And I did 566 stitches for a total of 6,617, and this is currently at 51.5%. That might be one I try to pull out and finish this year, but I haven't decided. I don't have, like I said, other than a couple of specific projects, I've kind of got a list of ones I might try to finish because I am, and again, I'll do a plan, talk about plans more on my next episode, but I'm trying not to have too many obligation stitches for 2025. Next up is in this bag that I got in a Be Stitch Me box, so I don't know who made it. This is Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. I started this July 3rd of 2022. I'm doing it on 36 count Forbidden Fiber. Sorry, I can't read my handwriting. Dovetail. 2/2. I am changing the colors in this some to more grays and slate blues. Some browns, but I did my own conversion for this. I did not have most of the called for floss, so I just pulled stuff from Stash that was similar or to change the color palette that I like. So there are some more grays in here, and like I've got this kind of a blacksmithy blues. That is Blacksmith Blue by Classic Colorworks. So I'm just changing the tone of it a little bit to go more with my gray fabric to be a little less brown. So I've done 2,590 stitches on this in 2024 for a total of 5,363, and I'm currently at 56%. 53%, sorry. Sometimes can't read without my glasses on. I'm still at that stage where if I'm the right distance away, I can read it, but if I get too close, I need my glasses. Next up is in this bag that I bought. I bought it through Stitchery Express Facebook group, so I'm not sure who makes them. This is The Mandalorian by Forbidden Fiber Co. I started this on July 16th of 2022. I'm doing it on 36 count Forbidden Fiber Co. fabric in the Tumbleweed colorway. This was a kit that I bought. So all the floss is Forbidden Fiber Co. And I have done 2,387 stitches this year for a total of 2,638. It is currently at 42.2%. The only modification I have made is Grogu in the original is a little bit further that way towards Mando, and I have moved him this way a few stitches so he's a little more centered on the pattern to me. So this is definitely one that I want to get done this year, primarily because my husband really wants it, and it's not that big. Next up is in this bag that I can't remember where I got. Oh, actually, I got this from a Be Stitch Me box also. This is Sir Thomas by Glendon Place. I started this July 17th of 2022. I'm doing it on a 32 count Zweigart Smoky White, which is one of the printed fabrics from Zweigart, with all the called for floss, etc. I did 1,299 stitches for a total of 4,047, and he's currently at 23.7%. That percentage is based on not doing the corn. I think I am only doing the turkey. I have not just completely decided, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the turkey in its entirety, and then I will decide whether or not I'm doing the corn. But I am 90% sure I will not be doing the corn. So that percentage is based on the turkey alone. Next up is in a bag that I made. This is Haunted Library by Lola Crow. This was a stitch along back in 2022 that I just did not keep up with. I started this July 22nd of 2022. I started this on some fabric. I had started something else that I abandoned. I'm doing it on 40 count Fortnite fabric in the I Try colorway. And I did 524 stitches for a total of 6,950. It is currently at 41.1%. This is also a project I really would like to get done this year, even though it would take a little bit more effort because I really want that project. And I've got to pause again because my cat is, see if I can turn so you can figure out which way to turn. You can't see her for all the junk, but my cat is over scratching on the door because she wants out. She's been asleep in the floor, but give me just a minute. Okay, next up is in a Lynn X Stitch Creates bag. Where am I? This is Autumn Cloche by Hello from Liz Matthews. Excuse me. I started this November 9th of 2022. Doing it on 40 count Atomic Ranch in the Vapors color. This is where I am. I did 631 stitches for a total of 4,851, and it's currently at 25.7%. I am doing this in the called for MPI silk, except that like those bluish blue-gray butterflies and the snails, I have used a different MPI that's a little more blue for those rather than the called for, which were more gray. The called for grays I am using in some places they're called for, but so I'm just changing some of those. And next up, and our last one for 2022 is in this bag that I bought from Stitchery Express. This is Moons Out, Brooms Out by Autumn Lane. I started this December 11th of 2022. And there's another one. I left the needle in the wrong place. Pardon me while I weave that in for a second. I'm doing this on 36 count to dye for fabric in the color Deja Blue. Whoops. And I did 3,044 stitches for a total of 3,591. It is currently at 27.1%. And now we move into 2023. 2023 was the year that I started like 70 some projects. There's still a lot from 2023. And will be for a while. First up is in this bag from Cricklewood Crossing. Cute little embroidered frog. This is Dragonfly Lace Mandala by Chatelaine. I'm doing it, I started this January 1st of 2023. I'm doing it on 32 count Silver Moon. That's Zweigart. Trying to remember which one's the top. I have it marked somewhere. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out which way this goes. Top, bottom, and I know I have a T marked somewhere for top. There we go, that's top. Okay. Where was I? I said 32 count silver moon. I'm sorry, I got stuff falling off my lap. Trying to get everything right. Anyway, I did 2,069 stitches for a total of 2,606. This is currently at 7.1%. I have put this into markup. So I'm not, I have not decided whether I'm going to do the dragonflies 1/1 or 1/2 or 2/2. They are charted both ways and you have an option. I haven't gotten there yet, so we'll see. That's a chatelaine, so obviously it's a long-term project. Next up is also in a Cricklewood Crossing bag. I like dragonflies a lot. So, this is September Sapphires by Carolyn Manning. It's one of the Shooting Stars collection. I started this January 6th of 2023. It is on, I'm doing this on 32 count Silver Moon. With all the called for. No, I'm sorry, 32 count Blue Whisper. Silver Moon was the last one. And I did 542 stitches for a total of 3,343, and it's currently at 9.4%. Next up is in this Lynn X Stitch Creates bag. And this is my first UFO. This is Haberdashery Shop by Doreen Jones. I started this in February of 2023. Started it twice in February of 2023 because I started it at the Barefoot Needle Arts Retreat. And I started here and then realized that I had started at the top of the pattern but at the bottom of the fabric. So when I got home, I restarted it up here. And I didn't even write down how many stitches I've done because I'm UFOing it. Because earlier this year, when I decided that I really liked markup so much better than Pattern Keeper because of the functionality, I was in the process of, I'm looking to see if there's a needle in it. There it goes, so I can take it out. I was in the process of moving all my patterns that I started in Pattern Keeper, recreating them in markup and marking off everything that I had done so far, when I realized that Pattern Keeper had cut out 2 columns of the pattern. So, and I don't know exactly, but like right here, I won't get this exactly right, but somewhere about right here and somewhere about right here, Pattern Keeper had gotten rid of a column. So that from about here over, all needs to be ripped out. And I have sat on this since, like, I think September when I realized that. And I have ultimately decided that while I like the pattern, I don't love it enough to worry about messing with all that right now. I'm going to UFO it. It's also a little more pastel in person than I realized. Now, I mean, there is back stitching, but I also think if I redid it again, I might try to punch up the colors some. So, anyway, I don't know if I'll ever restart it. For now, I'm UFOing it. I don't even want to worry about it. It's not worth ripping out and fixing to me right now, and it's not worth restarting. At the moment, I'm not saying never. I still, there's nothing wrong with the pattern. I still like the final image. It does have a lot more back stitching than I kind of realized. And I don't hate back stitching, but on a full coverage, it's also a little much. But, I mean, just to, have to figure out where exactly you're coming up and going down. Anyway, that's being UFO'd for now. So, next up is in this bag by Lynn X Stitch Creates, which is not on theme with the project. The other thing I'm going to do after this video is I'm going to reorganize some of my projects in bags to get them a little bit. I like the bags to kind of match the project if possible. So this is Dark Tower, which is a full coverage by LK Cross. It's like L''KA Cross. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I think it's Russian. I bought it off of Etsy, I think. Although, since I bought it off Etsy, I don't know if you can still get it. I don't know. I started this February 26th of 2023. And this is where it is. I got bored with orange and went down to start outlining Roland. But I did not work on this in 2024. So, this sits at 2,646 stitches, which is 5.3%. So, next up is in this bag by Creative Carol. This is Minnie the Wool Shop, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, based on artwork by Lucy Pittaway. This is no longer available at Heaven and Earth. Lucy Pittaway now works with Bothy Threads. I had, a couple years ago, started the Wool Shop, the full-size version, and this is one of the patterns that I think it was 23, because I started this March 2nd of 2023. Early 2023, when I was assessing my full coverages, I decided to restart this one as the mini, because I felt like the mini still had good pictures, good quality. You know, the picture still looked good. That's what I'm trying to say. I did 1,380 stitches on this for a total of 2,404. It is currently at 3.2%. And again, as you can see, I kind of got bored up here, so I worked my way over there. I tend to do that a lot, is if I get bored working in one color, I'll work to somewhere else where I can go back and forth. Next up, this is a bag. Oh, who did I buy this from? This was I've only purchased from them one time, and I think I have a card in here somewhere. Vintage Owl Lady. This is a peacock, a unicorn, a badger by the Scarlet House. I started this April 29th of 2023. I'm doing this on 40 count Atomic Ranch in the colorway Mellowstone. And I've got some fabric up here because my margins are kind of tight on this, but this one will be finished more. This to me is like this piece looks like a tapestry, and so this will be finished kind of like a tapestry, and so I didn't worry about not having too much margin fabric-wise. That's also why I'm not doing it on Easy Grid, even though it's a full coverage. And I liked, if there's any fabric showing, I wanted it to be something not white. I am stitching the entire background on this because, again, this is like a tapestry to me, and to me, if the background's not stitched, it doesn't look like the tapestry. Nothing against anybody that's chosen to use the dark green fabric, plus my eyes. I did 2,399 stitches on this for a total of 5,189. It is currently at 4.8%. So this is fun to work on, though, because I outline one of the like animals or something and work on that, and then do a couple strands of green, fill in, and, you know, go back and forth. But again, long-term project. Next up is in this bag. I can't remember who I bought this from. Oh, nope, that's the fabric tag. I don't think I still have a... Oh, wait a minute. I have a receipt in here. Seal's Little Shop on Etsy. That's who made this bag. This is Every Opening Flower by With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. I started this May 6th of 2023. And I'm doing it on a 36 count Atomic Ranch in Palomino. I believe I'm doing this 1/1. Yeah, 1/2 rather. I did 521 stitches for a total of 1,063. This is currently at 7%. And this one is in an Amazon bag because I've never gotten it in anything else. This is Winter Quakers by Rosewood Manor. I started this May 13th of 2023. And on 28 count, picture this plus dwarf. Sorry, I'm moving a needle. I did not work on this in 2024. So I have done 1,095 stitches. It is currently at 5%. I am using the called for Valdani floss for this. Now, see, I knew that there was about 20 projects that I did not get to this year because I do track that and I've got a list. And I will make sure to get to those in 2025, at least some work. But I see those projects, I'm like, oh, I really like that. I want to get back to that. I think everybody does that when they do a WIP Parade, right? Okay, what's next? This is in a bag from Barefoot Needle Art. I had to think where this one came from. This is And a Forest Grew by Rosewood Manor. I started this June 10th, 2023. I'm doing it on 40 count Coloring Cotton Cottage Stone. Sorry, trying to get the fabric so I can show you. And I did 2,133 stitches for a total of 2,696, and it's currently at 11%. I will be changing the quote that's in the big tree, but I have not decided to what. I like the quote that's in the little tree. The one in the big tree is a little more religious than I want on our projects. This is in a bag that I also got from a V-Stitch Me box. This is October Quilt by Paula Vaughn out of her Quilts for All Seasons. I started this on June 21st, 2023. I'm doing it on 32 count Antique White Lugana. My ultimate goal for all of it is to do all 12 of these and actually turn them into a quilt. We'll see if that happens. So I started with October, which is my birthday month and also one of my favorite ones from the book. I did 1,047 stitches for a total of 1,589. It is currently at 10.7%. So and then last up for this bin is actually not cross stitch. It's in a great big knitting bag. This is a counted needlepoint. It is Celebrate America Barn Quilt by Nancy's Needle. I did not work on, I started this June 30th of 2023. I did not work on it in 2024, so it's still at the same place. It's on 18 count mono in the sandstone, and that's all I've done is just those two borders. So I do need to work on that. It's going to go over there where it stays. And that is it for that bin. So I'm going to pause again and go get the next one. Okay, we're a little over an hour and not quite halfway. So This may be a long one. Next up is in this bag from Creative Carol. This is Love is Love by Jan Hicks Creates. Oh, there's also some of my monthly Quakers are on this. I forgot about that. I need to fully finish those. Sorry. Started this July 4th, 2023. Excuse me. I'm doing it on 40 count Barefoot Needle Arts in the Sandy Toes colorway. And I did not work on this in 2024. It is currently at 1,000. Sorry, for a second I wasn't sure if I was showing you the right side. 1,065 stitches, and which is 14.6%. So that looks just like it used to. I need to set that aside because I need to cut those monthly Quakers off because I need to get those fully finished. This is in a Lynn X Stitch Creates bag. I think, yeah, that's Lynn X Stitch Creates. This is Christmas Mousse, which is a Panna kit. I am doing it with all the kit fabric and floss, which is a 16 count Ada. I did not, I started this July 25th of 2023, but I did not work on it in 2024. So it has 1,016 stitches, which is 6.1%. And obviously, the ones that I did not work on in 2024, you're not going to see a before picture because it looks exactly the same. Where am I? This is in a bag that I made. This is Summer Quaker by Leela Studio. I started this August 1st of 2023. I'm doing it on a 40 count Barefoot Needle Arts Sea Mist. I did 760 stitches in 2024 for a total of 1,833. It is currently at 6.5%. I have to try to think to, when I pull it back, move it to one side enough that I can get the before picture in there. Which is mostly going to be covering my face, I think, but that's okay. This is in a bag from Barefoot Needle Arts. This is Night Walk Down by the Blue Flower. I started this August 11th of 2023. I'm doing it on 40 count Fox and Rabbit oyster shell. And I did 545 stitches in 2024 for a total of 1,098. It is currently at 6.3%. And next up is in a bag that I made. This is Minnie the 10th, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, based on artwork by Mandy Manzano. I don't think you can get this one anymore, but I'm not 100% sure. I started this August 13th of 2023. This is full coverage, but it is a mini. That is the full width of the piece. I did 2,305 stitches for a total of 4,403, and it is currently at 5.7%. Next up is in another bag that I made. This is Sugar Skull Cat by Stitchora. This was in the Just Cross Stitch magazine Halloween edition from 2023. I am doing this on 36 count what I call Jody fabric. I believe she may have put a different name on it now, but I'm not sure what that is. For a while, I got her club fabric. I started this August 14th of 2023. I did 1,857 stitches in 2024 for a total of 2,431. It is currently at 29.4%. This is in a bag by Gamma's Treasures. This is the Equality Sampler from Plum Street Samplers. I started this August 19th of 2023 on 36 count coloring cotton cottage stone. I did 820 stitches for a total of 1,778. And this is at 11.7%, which is approximately. All of the words on this is 1/1, and it's I'm doing it because I'm doing, well, this is 36 count, but I'm doing 10th stitch on the 1/1. Because I have this in markup, I have, one of the things tangent here, one of the things I like about markup is that I can tell markup that things are not stitches. So, like, if I want to, like, I cropped Treasure Hunt by just saying all these pages are not stitches. And I just, so it gave me an accurate count. So for 1/1 in markup, what I do is I tell it initially that all of them are not stitches. So it doesn't count those areas in the stitch count. And then as I stitch the 1/1, I basically, like this, since I'm doing 10th stitch for this, it takes 2 stitches to count as 1 stitch. I figure out how many stitches in my stitch count that should be, and then I block off and mark up that many squares on the grid, so it adds it to the count, and then it slowly increases the total count to keep the percentage accurate. But right now, all those stitches are not being counted in the count. I hope that makes sense. So that 11.7% is probably a little higher than it actually is once I add in all the 1/1 areas that are not currently accounted for in that number. I hope that made some sort of sense. It makes sense in my brain. Next up is in this bag, and I think this is another one from the bag maker that I can never remember the name of. I'm sorry. This is Scary Sampler by Heartstring Samplery. I started this September 1st of 2023 on 40 count Be Stitch Me Mocha. I'll figure out where I am here, where the selvage edge is for my needle that I apparently left in the middle because I haven't worked on this year. I think that's right. I started this one in the middle so that I could work my way out to several motifs. I did not want to start on just that border. I did not work on this in 2024, so I have 634 stitches at 2.4%. We are starting to enter the frenzy of starts portion of 2023. The portion at which I said, I'm just going to start everything between now and the end of the year. This is in a bag from Sherry So Sweet. Couldn't think of the name. Patchwork on the front. She makes excellent bags as well. This is, where am I? This is Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. I started this September 2nd of 2023. This is by Carriage House Samplings. I'm doing it on 40 count Fiber on a Whim in the Heather colorway. I finished block 1. I'm on block 2. I did 2,654 stitches in 2024 for a total of 5,261. This is currently at 7.4%. This is another one that has not made it to a regular bag yet. This is Schoolhouse Rock, which was a stitch along in 2023 that I tried for a while to keep up with, but it just didn't work. This is from Black Needle Society. I'm doing it on 36 count Be Stitch Me even weave. I do not have a color. I think this was a Friday night, fight night fabric that I got. And I did 547 stitches in 2024 for a total of 5,292, and it's currently at 32.5%. This is another one that I would like to get done in 2025. This is a bag from, I think, Gamma's Treasures. This is Happy Campers by the Blue Flower. I started this September 4th, 2023. I'm doing this on a 40 count Be Stitch Me Even Weave. I do not have a color name. I think it was, again, another Friday night fight night. Oh, no, I take that back. The Schoolhouse Rock was Ocean Blue Be Stitch Me. This is the one that I don't have a name for. I looked at the wrong one before. Sorry. Again, this is Happy Campers. I did 842 stitches for a total of 1,379. It is currently at 6.9%. Next up is in a bag that I made. This is October's Party from Little House Needleworks. I started this September 23rd, 2023. I'm doing it on 40 count Atomic Ranch in the Blue Ridge colorway. And again, I left a needle in the middle. Although I did work on this one this year. I should not have done that. Anyway, I did 500 stitches on this for a total of 910. And it's currently at 22.1%. I am doing this mostly in the called for, except I'm changing the words to that. It's a Weeks Dye Works Chesapeake. Sorry. Yeah. Weeks Dye Works Chesapeake instead of the brown that it's called for, because with the green fabric I wanted to pull that color out a little bit more. So, okay, next up, this is in a bag from Sheba Designs. Couldn't think of her name for a second. This is Halloween Sampler by Teresa Kogut. Excuse me. I started this October 1st of 2023. I am doing this on 40 count 40 count Fiber on a Whim Cypress. And I'm doing the Vicki Clayton silk conversion on this. I did 1,235 stitches for a total of 1,784. And it is currently at 3.4%. This is a really large pattern. Next up, in a bag by Sherry So Sweet. This is Nightingale by Mirabilia. This was my birthday start at 2023 because I was at the Queen City Stitch Retreat, which had Nora Corbett as the guest designer. I think it goes this way. I'm doing this on 32 count Under the Sea fabric in the Sea Witch colorway. And I did 566 stitches for a total of 1,113. It's currently at 4.9%. I saw that somebody had done the lantern on this in glow-in-the-dark thread. I might have to steal that idea. We'll see. I have some, I think, in Haunted Library somewhere that I was going to use. Anyway, rambling. Next up is in a brass button bag. This is Sleeping Princess by Mirabilia. Also started at the Queen City Stitch Retreat on October 7th in 2023. I'm doing this on 28 count Grace Notes Barbie. And I did 2,033 stitches for a total of 2,684. This is currently at 6.5%. And that's like some of the stuff hanging off the bed. Okay, next up is in a bag by Sheba Designs. This is Jack's Bash by Plum Street Samplers. I started this October 13th of 2023. And I am doing it on 36 count R&R AB Siderian. And I did not work on this in 2024. So it has 500 stitches still, and it's at 3.8%. This is another one that has a good bit of 1/1, so in the words, so I will do the same thing. Again, that, I think I have cleaned this one up to where the 3.8% is not counting the 1/1. Since I put some of these in markup, I have learned a lot more about how to use markup, and so I'm in the process of kind of going through projects and cleaning up and making sure I've got accurate stitch counts. And just random tangent, like I said, I do use markup to do my charts, which gives me the stitch count of the project. But how I actually track my stitches and my time stitching and my day stitching and all that, and I don't mention this enough, is I use the X Stitch Journal by Blitz Stitch, which is available only on iOS. So if you don't have an iPhone then or an iPad, then it wouldn't be available to you. But I love it because I have all my projects in there. When I start stitching on a project, I hit a little button that says start stitching. And if I stop for 15 minutes or 2 hours or whatever, I hit pause. And when I come back, I start it up again. And when I'm done at the end of the day or whatever stitching session, I hit stop and I tell it how many stitches I did that I get from markup. And it keeps track of the stitches I've done, the day. It creates a log for every day I work on it, so I can tell you how many days I worked on it, how many hours I worked on it. It will give you a projected date you will finish at the rate you're going, all that stuff. And then it also will give me weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly summaries of my stitches and everything. So that's how I get all those numbers. I do not manually do all that. I just use the tools that are available to me. But that is a paid-for app. I don't remember how much it is, but it's worth it to me because I use it a lot. Anyway, I did not show you. This is a Sheba Designs bag, vinyl front. I tend to not buy vinyl fronts much anymore, but excuse me. This is The Old Graveyard by Thistles. I started this October 14th, doing it on 36 count Be Stitch Me in the color Gray Magic. I did not work on this in 2024. I have done 689 stitches, and it is currently at 9.1%. This is a small one, so I need to get this one done in 2025. Next up, this is in a bag that Kelly from Pages and Stitches gave me at the Queen City Stitch Retreat in 2023. And this has Winter Kitty, which is charted by Artisy. Do not have an artist name, so it might be AI. I'm not sure. This is I started this October 27th of 2023. Sorry, my fabric doesn't want to fold right, so I can show you. This is a mini, although I don't think I'm quite all the way over to the edge. I did not work on this in 2024, so I did 601. I've got 601 stitches. It's at 1.7%. This is a bag by is it Lumion Pie? Yeah, Lumion Pie. This is our second UFO. This is Double Dutch Sampler by Sampler Cove Designs. I started this October 28th, 2023. I was doing it on 36 count antique white. I did not work on it in 2024. This came out of, I bought the whole back issues of magazines. I don't know if it was the Gift of Stitching or so, I don't remember, but this is, I think I told you it's Double Dutch Sampler, and I'll put a picture. I have decided to UFO this for two reasons. One, I like the picture. One, I'm doing this in the Called For Glorianas. One, the colors, that burgundy is not quite what I was hoping it would be colorway wise, is one. And two, I was working on trying to kind of clean this up and mark up, and I realized I didn't really love stitching this part, and I thought, well, maybe it'll get better. And I know I haven't tried again, but I've just decided I don't love this enough to put the effort into it right now, and it is a rather large project. So I am going to reclaim the fabric and the floss and move on to things that I want to stitch. And, you know, maybe someday in the future, I'll decide. There are portions of that. For one, I don't, the alphabet, I might pull motifs out of that eventually and do something smaller with it, but we'll see. So that is also going to be a UFO. So I didn't even write down how many stitches I've done. I didn't do anything in 2024 on it. Excuse me. Next up is in this bag by Sherry So Sweet. I love her patchwork bags. This is Midnight Watch by Blackbird Designs. I started this November 2nd, 2023. However, I'm doing the, first of all, I'm doing it on 32 count Atomic Ranch Pampas Reed. I am not doing the alphabet, so I'm going to bring that bottom border up. I actually saw somebody's project recently where they had just done like the house and the cat and stuff without even the border at all, and I loved it. But I think I'm going to stick to what I planned. So I did not work on this in 2024. I have done a total of 556 stitches. It is currently at 5%, and that is calculated not including the alphabet. So 5% of what I will be stitching. And I don't know if you can really see that moon over there. Hopefully you'll be able to see it better when the whole thing's done. I can't remember if that has something around the moon, but anyway. Yeah, so that's it. Next up is in a bag that I made. This is Spooktacular Party by Counting Puddles. I started this November 3rd, 2023. And one second. I'm doing this on 32 count. I think that's the right way up. 32 count Fox and Rabbit Black Swan. I did not work on this in 2024. So I have 549 stitches, and it's at 3.9%. This is in another bag by Sherry So Sweet. This is Let Freedom Ring by Leela Studio. I started this November 9th of 2023. And trying to get it folded so I can, with the part that I've done, but so I can get a little closer. I'm doing this on 40 count Picture This Plus vellum. I did 2,668 stitches for a total of 3,170, and it's currently at 8.9%. So I started in the middle so that I didn't leave that huge building for last, but this time I worked my way up to that top left corner so I could, again, go back and forth. And as you can see, I had to sew fabric on that to get to the comfortably in the Q-snap, although there is a decent margin for framing or whatever. It's just, it was to get up to that top there, it was getting my hand was hitting the Q-snap part, so I just sewed that on to make it more comfortable in there. Okay, this is in a bag from Barefoot Needle Art. This is Clouds Over Virlande by Ink Circles. I started this November 16th, 2023. I am not doing the alphabet in this. So first of all, I'm going to tell you I'm doing it on 40 count Atomic Ranch in the embellished color. I'm not doing the alphabet. I have brought the stuff, the clouds and stuff that are above the alphabet down closer to the little mountain stuff and just left the alphabet off. I did 2,191 stitches for a total of 2,688. And it is currently at 9.7% of what I am doing. This is in a bag by Lumi and Pie. This is Coming to America by With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. I started this November 17th, 2023. This is going to be a long piece. I'm doing it on the called for 40 count Vintage Country Mocha with all the called for floss. I did 2,347 stitches for a total of 3,065 stitches. It is currently at 16.8%. Once I get to the names, I think it will go pretty fast. Next up is in this bag that I made. This is 272 words by Primrose Needleworks. I started this on November 19th, 2023, which was the 150th anniversary of the Gettysburg Address. I'm doing it on 40 count Grace Notes Molly. And I did 1,308 stitches for a total of 1,830. It is currently at 9.5%. And I'm doing it in all the called for floss. I do not remember all the time to mention whether I'm doing called for floss or whatever. There is linked below in the description box a link to my Google spreadsheet that lists all my documents and will tell you if I forget or if you don't hear what I say or you don't understand what I say because of my accent or I talk too fast. We'll tell you the fabric and we'll tell you if I'm doing the called for floss, or if I'm not, it should tell you some conversions. Sometimes you might have to scroll over to a little further over to the right to the notes section. If there's a lot of conversions, I will sometimes put them over there instead. Next up, where am I? Oh, there I am. This is a bag that I made. This is Native American Hummingbird Maiden by Joan Elliott. It was also previously known as, I think, Indian Maiden or something like that. It came out originally in a book. You can get it now from her website, but she still mails you a copy. It's not a digital copy. I started this December 1st, 2023 on 28 count Atomic Ranch Vanilla Cream. I did 582 stitches for a total of 1,085, and it is currently at 3.7%. Most of what I did this time, I think, was in her face. And that is that bin. So I've got 2 more bags I'm going to haul over, and hopefully in another 30 minutes or so we'll be done. Okay, this is in a bag by Sheba Designs. This is Santa's Moonlit Ride by Counting Puddles. I started this December 4th, 2023 on 32 count Atomic Ranch Crocus. I think that's the top. I think that's right way up. I did not work on this in 2024. I've done 453 stitches, and that's 2%. I think that's the way it goes. Maybe that way. Actually, that might be right. I think that's right. Yes, that fabric is purple, but it looked very night sky to me, so I think it's going to work. Yeah, the second way I showed you was the right way up. Next up, this is in the only bag I have from Jasmine's Custom Bags. This is, and it's the only because it's the only one I've managed to snag, not because I would not want more. This is Woodland Santas by Prairie Schooler. I started this December 7th, 2023. It's on 32 count platinum. I did 597 stitches for a total of 1,097, and it is currently at 5.4%. And this is the one that is in the top right of the overall picture. Did I tell you I'm doing that on 32 count platinum? I think I did. Next up, this is in a bag from Creative Carol. This is Santa Portraits by Carol Emmers. This is another one that is from one of those all the back issues digitally. I can't remember which one. It's not Gift of Stitching. This is from a different one. Excuse me. Let me see if I wrote it in my... Oh, just cross stitch November, December 2011. I didn't write it there, but I have it on my Google sheet. I started this December 10th, 2023. I'm doing this on 32 count flax. And he looks kind of creepy because I haven't filled his eyes in. But I did 561 stitches on this year for a total of 1,084. He is currently at 5.5%, and that is for the whole project, not this Santa. Same thing on the Woodland Santas. Although those two, I don't think I've gotten to actually cleaning them up in markup, so that percentage might not be 100% accurate. Next up is in I think this might be Sheba Designs, but I'm not sure. No, this is Stitch and Button. Sorry. This is Stitch and Button. And I'm now realizing one I showed you earlier that I think I'd said was Sheba Designs was also Stitch and Button, I think. But this is Santa Stops Here by With Thy Needle and Thread. I started this December 15th of 2023. Where's the stitching? I'm doing it on 36 count Be Stitch Me in Hot Cocoa. I did not work on this in 2024, so this has 514 stitches and is currently at 4.4%. This is another bag by Stitch and Button. This is Autumn is as Joyful by Leela Studio. I started this December 20th of 2023. I'm doing it on 40 count Be Stitch Me in the Lunar colorway. And I did 927 stitches for a total of 1,439. And it's currently at 5.4%. I will also be changing the quote on this. She has also recharted another quote, but I think the quote that I'm going to use is Autumn shows us how beautiful it is to let things go. That's my plan right now. It may change by the time I get there. I also haven't charted it yet, so I'll need to make sure it fits. Next up is in, this is one I got from Stitchery Express. This is Winter Comes by Heartstring Samplery. I started this December 21st, 2023. I got this as a kit from the Homespun Needleworks Facebook group. I believe, though, that you can buy the pattern now. I think I'm doing this on 36 count Lakeside Vintage Wood Smoke, which is what came with the kit. I did not work on this in 2024, so it has 560 stitches and is currently at 4.1%. Next up is in a bag that my friend Michelle made with cardinals. This is Winter Peace Sampler. I started this December 22nd, 2023. Sorry, found another, did not work on this one in 2024, so I found another needle where it should not be. I'm doing this on, this is by Artful Offerings. Why is that so hard to say? I'm doing this on 40 count Seraphim Winter White. Did not work on this in 2024. It is at 506 stitches, currently 4.2%. This is in another bag by Sherry So Sweet. This is Winter Moon, a Plum Street Samplers. I bought this originally as a kit from, I think, what is it, Country Samplers? Is that what it's called? But you can get this pattern now. It was, I think, recently released as just the pattern. I started this December 26th of 2023, doing it on 40 count Fox and Rabbit Saltbush. Did not work on this year, so it has 511 stitches and is at 2.9%. This is another one that has not made it to a regular project bag. This is Kringle's Tree Farm by Luminous Fiber Arts. I started this December 27th of 2023 on 32 count Atomic Ranch Lugana in the Storm colorway. I did not work on this in 2024, so it has 518 stitches and is currently at 8%. No, this is not Kringle's Tree Farm. Something's gotten out of order. Sorry. This is one of them slid out of order. This is not, I looked at that and I went, this is not Kringle's Tree Farm and that is not Storm. This is North Pole by Kathy Barrick that I started December 30th, 2023 on Be Stitch, 40 count Be Stitch Me Sugar Cream Pie. And I did not work on it this year. It's got 519 stitches, which is 4.6%. I am using the Called Pour NPI silks on this, although I may change the color of Santa's coat. I have not decided yet. That one, when I packed my bag pretty tight when I was pulling projects out, it was sliding a little bit. That one must have gotten out of order. Sorry. This one is Kringle's Tree Farm. By Luminous Fiber Arts, which I started on December 27th, 2023. I'm doing it on 32 count Atomic Ranch Lugana in the Storm colorway. And I did not work on it this year, but I have 518 stitches, which is 8%. They were both in Amazon bags, and it just didn't. So I looked at the project. I was like, that's not right. This is in a bag by Sheba Designs, I think. Nope. I can't read that. Something stitches. See Me Como Stitches. This is Como Stitches, sorry. This is Frederick the Literate, which is a Dimensions kit. I started this December 29th, 2023. I am doing this on the 14 count Kit Ada. With the called for and everything. I think that is the right way up. I did not work on this in 2024. There's a little bit more right there that you may or may not see that line. There, that's a little better. This, so this has 540 stitches, which is 2.3%. And I started that one, I think, in the middle because it's a kit fabric, and in order to be sure I have enough fabric, I need to start in the middle. Okay, let's. So next up would have been North Pole, which I've already showed you. And then the last one for 2023 is in this bag from Barefoot Needle Art. This is Bluebirds of Happiness, which by JBW Designs, which I started on December 31st of 2023 on 36 count Atomic Ranch Pampas Reed. And again, I left a needle where I shouldn't. I leave needles in all my projects because I just don't want to have to hunt down a needle to stitch on a project. But like I said, I have at least recently tried to start putting them over to the selvage edge or to the edge where if something happens, they don't mess anything up. But I did not work on this in 2024, and I only got 245 stitches on my original start, which is below my minimum, but apparently I ran out of time or just got bored. But anyway, this is 5.4%. This is not a very big piece, so I need to, that one should get done in 2024 just to get it done. So that was all of 2023, and now we move to 2024. So these were all new starts in 2024, which means there will be no before picture for them, just the pattern picture. This is a bag by Creative Carol. This bag housed my One Nation for a long time, but when I finished that, I moved this project to it. This is Lady of the Flag by Mirabilia. This was my New Year, New Start on January 1, 2024. I'm doing it on the 30 count Primitive Hair Constitution fabric. I am doing the blue conversion on the dress and the brunette conversion on the hair. I did 2,761 stitches, and that is currently at 8.2%. I started at the top of the flagpole so I could place that where I wanted. And hopefully I have counted right and it's going to fit. I have seen other projects where it was placed in the same place that I placed it and it fit. So hopefully that works. This is in a bag by Stitch and Button. This is a stitch a day by Morning Glory Needleworks. I started this January 7th, 2024 on 28 count Mystic Fabrics Lugana in the Time Worn. This was a gift from my friend Peggy, and it was something I stitched on every Sunday for most of the year until about September when I petered out. I've worked on, I think, one other time since then. I was going to look and see. I am caught up through September 14th. So I was like, I got to figure out where the top of it is. This is what it is. It's being done with Sulky. It is all specialty stitches. So each day is an outside border of a square or the inside border. So each completed square with the inside is 2 days. And what I was doing is on Sundays, I was doing either 3 complete squares or 4 complete squares, so that every 2 weeks I was, up to date. And it's not a lot of stitching, but it takes a little time because it's specialty stitches. And some of the specialty stitches, particularly for the borders, with the Sulky is a little tight, so I had to do some, even though it's 28 count, I just had to do some modification. I don't dislike the stitch, but it's not something I can like get in the rhythm of and do a bunch of at once. By the time I would finish 3, maybe 4 blocks, I was done for the day working on it. So I do want to get this finished in 2025. I'm not going to set like every Sunday to catch up, but I do want to work on it at least once a month and get it finished by the end of 2025. Next up in this bag from Carrie Sews For You is Anzac. Oh, I skipped before I show you that. I had one other project on my WIP list, which was I did this year a Tiny Town round robin with some friends. And I started the patriotic Tiny Town. The Tiny Towns are by Heart and Hand. And I did a portion and I sent it to the next person and everything. I have finished my work on that. One of our members had some health issues this year, and so there's been a little bit of delay. No big deal. But I have not received mine back yet. I had kept mine on my WIP list in anticipation of that, but since it's the end of the year, I'm going ahead and putting it into the finished category on the assumption when it comes back to me, it will be finished, or have very little stitching to be done on it. So, that was something I started January 13th of 2024, but I'm taking that off my WIP list, even though I haven't received it back yet, because I know I will eventually. But, so this is Anzac by Long Dog Samplers. I started this February 29th, 2024 as my Long Dog Leap Day sale start. And so the goal is to have this finished by Leap Day of 2028. I'm doing this on 40 count Laura's fabric and the Brain Fog colorway. I'm doing it with Silks For You floss, mostly in a variegated that is the blue, green, and charcoal. But I'm also doing some green in some places, and I've got a blue and a yellow to do a couple of other motifs. I have done 6,527 stitches. It's currently at 22.1%. I did not get to this in December, so in January I will do 1,200 stitches instead of I do 600 a month at least. January I will do 1,200 stitches. And while generally my goal is 600 a month, I think in 2025, because of the way I'm anticipating my work schedule to be, what I may do is like January I'm going to do 1,200 for December and January. And then I may wait until end of February to do 1,200 for February or March. So then I don't have to do it again until like end of April, if that makes any sense. That is all that bag. Let me see if I can grab this other bag without pausing you. And we'll just see if we can pull from the bag right here. This is the last of them. Next up, this is a bag by Barefoot Needle Arts. This is Spring Quaker by Leela Studio. I started this March 19th, 2024. Excuse me. I am doing this on 40 count Atomic Ranch Winter Mint, which is a light green. I don't know if it's going to show up on the camera. Hold on. And, sorry, nose, itchy nose. I am changing all of the brown Quakers and stuff. Most of the brown in this, I'm changing to shades of purple, because that's more springy to me than brown. So, and I don't know that I have put a full conversion. I have put some subs in my notes on my Google spreadsheet if you're interested in seeing what I'm using. But I'm really just kind of winging it and doing whichever purple I feel like at the time. I have the brown still in here because there are some aspects of the center that I still want to use the brown. But largely, I've pulled in all these purples. I'm going to, for the outside border with the Quaker motifs and stuff, I'm switching all that to purples. Let's see. This is in another Barefoot Needle Arts bag with dragonflies. Memory knows if she makes a dragonfly bag, I will buy it. This is Huckleberry Farm by the Blue Flower. I started this March 31st of 2024. I'm doing it on a 40 count fiber on a whim in the Kunzite colorway. And knocking my needle out. I did 2,027 stitches for 10.4%. This one is in a brass button bag. This is North Carolina by Lifted Spirit. I started this April 14th of 2024. This is a small full coverage that I got off Etsy. It's one of those, well, you'll see a picture of it, but it's one of those travel poster looking. I did 3,000 stitches on this, and it is currently at 16.5%. Okay. Sorry, trying to get bags to come out. This is, I don't remember who made these bags. I ordered them online. Maybe the other one has a card in it. I can't remember who made them. Somebody on FlossTube mentioned them, and I went and ordered a couple. And they're nice bags. I just can't remember who made them. This is No Time Like the Present by Modern Folk Embroidery. I started this May 4th of 2024, doing it on 40 count antique white. I did the 2021 Fruits of Plenty, and I kept up with it. But it was a lot of stitching. I did not do these when they started, but I decided to do them all. And the dark blue floss is staying consistent between the three. And I'm just changing the other colors so that they will all kind of go together. I did 501 stitches. And I'm at 1.4%. My minimum stitch count for a start this year and 2023, with the exception of that Bluebirds of Happiness, was 500 stitches. So that's why some of these that I haven't touched, I mean, that's why the new starts and some of the ones from 2023 I haven't touched are all right around 500 stitches. This is another bag from that same bag maker, who I can't remember. Let's see if this one has something inside that tells me who made it. Nope. This is Reaching Skyward by Modern Folk Embroidery. I started this May 18th of 2024. And I'm also doing it on 40 count antique white. And I did 515 stitches, which is 1.1%. Let's see what's next. Okay. Things have gotten out of order again here. Hold on. This is an Amazon bag. This is When Santa's Away by With Thy Needle and Thread. I started this on May 25th, 2024 on 32 count fabrics by Stephanie and Toasted Almond. I got that little mouse done. That is 572 stitches, which is 16.8%. This one will definitely get done this year because it's just small enough. It's technically classified as a medium because of the stitch count, but I'm sorry, some of my bags, when I picked some out, got out of order, so I'm having to figure out which one's which. This is a bag by Carrie Sews For You. It does not match the project at all. This is Amid Amish Life. This is a pattern that was in Cross Stitch and Country Crafts in 3 parts back in the 80s. I don't remember what year. I was trying to see the date on my magazines, but of course it's further in there. 87. I am doing it all as one piece, and I started this June 8th, 2024. I'm doing it on 32 count Lugana light blue, just Weigart. I did 1,034 stitches. This is 3.1%. If it's the right one. Yeah. This is another Amazon bag. This is Land That I Love by Twisted Willow Designs. This was in Just Cross Stitch magazine, this summer of 2024 edition. I started it July 5th, 2024. And I did 1,276 stitches for 8.5%. That is the entire width of the piece. So it's a very small one. That's why I have the fabric on the side so that it will fit in a Q-stack big enough that I can do it on my floor stand. Although now I have a clamp for my floor stand, which I did not have at the time. So I had to have a longer Q-snap to fit in the arms and have room to reach my hand under. But, sorry, trying to get that zip without catching that fabric. Let's see. Next up is in another Dragonfly bag by Barefoot Needle Arts. This is Nature's Peace by Carriage House Samplings. I started this September 20th, 2024, which was the day we were flying out west for our big national park trip. And I'm doing this with us as a stitch along with Beth, the Steadfast Stitcher. And Julie also has joined us. I know she does not have a floss tube. I'm doing this on 22 count Be Stitch Me Ada in the scroll colorway. I've done 1,492 stitches, and that is 28.8%. This is another one that I'm hoping to try to finish in 2025. Next up is in this bag that I bought at North Meets South in August. And I don't remember who made it, but I think I have a card in here. Nope, that's the fabric. I thought I had a card in here. Oh no, you know what I have? I think I have the receipt. Nope, I don't remember. It was one of the vendors. Oh, wait, is there a tag? Yes. Trish Vine Designs. Sorry, nose itching. This is Quilting ABCs by Erica Michaels. I started this October 4th of 2024. I'm doing it on 40 count Seraphim in the antique lace. Let me get it the right side up. I think that's right. That is all I have. I have done 508 stitches, which is 2.3%. And I am doing it with the called for floss. Next up, this is another bag I bought at North Meet South from Millennium Fabrics. I don't know if she makes the bags or if she was selling for somebody else, but this is Southern Land by Al Forrest. This was my birthday start for this year, October 6th, 2024. I'm doing it on 40 count Atomic Ranch Vanilla Cream, and I do have the Al Forrest flosses. I did 575 stitches, which is 3%. Next up is, oh crap. This is a bag by Nancy the Disorderly Stitcher. My planner and some other stuff I had sitting here. Sorry. Just went sliding off. He was sitting on my toe. And something else fell. Oh well. Again, bags by Nancy the Disorderly Stitcher. She has a website. I shop on Etsy. This is Wood Witch by Raven Stitchcraft. I started this October 26th, 2024. This is a stitch along with Beth the Steadfast Stitcher. I think Dawn Enchanting Stitches. And somebody else that I can't remember. I'm sorry. We started it on a Zoom. So I'm doing this on 40 count Atomic Ranch Pistachio. And I did 1,011 stitches. It's all going to be 310. And it's 5.9%. Only got 3 more. This is in a bag that I bought from Sherry So Sweet. And it is perfect for this project, which is Stitchy Witchy Bell Pull by Stitchy Pros. Started this October 31st, 2024. Doing it on 40 count Barefoot Needle Arts Black Pearl. This is where I got to. I did 633 stitches, which is 7.7%. And I am changing the darker color, which probably looks black in your screen, I'm not sure, was supposed to be like Raven or something. Supposed to be Classic Colorworks Blackbird. But Barefoot Needle Arts, when I bought this, was out of that. So instead, I am doing it with Classic Colorworks Nighty Night, which is really more of a dark navy with the purple. But on this fabric, I think it's perfect. So, and I told you I did 633 stitches and 7.7%, right? If I didn't, I just told you again. Okay. Last 2. This is in a bag made by my friend Ann, Dazzling Dragonfly on Etsy. And this is Boreal Colors by Stitches So Beautiful. Charted by Stitches So Beautiful, based on artwork by Eder Jose Rosa. I started this December 1st, 2024. And I did the Stitches So Beautiful December challenge, where I had to do some work for 4 weeks. And I tried to do at least 500 stitches was my personal goal. I did 2,220 stitches on this, and it's currently at 1.6%. So the outline black box, as you see, this has like random, I don't know if I can get it close enough for you to see. Well, you might see it in the white. Like you see that little bit of, this is some other colors, but it's surrounded by the 310. So the blocks of 310 are where I have filled in all those little speckles in there, so I can fill that in with 310 as I feel inclined. But I worked my way over here so I could get into some other colors, because I didn't want to do nothing but 310 and a couple of random stitches of something else all the time. So I tend to do a thread or two of a color, and then go back and do a thread of 310, and etc. And last but not least, in the actually started WIP Parade, because I am going to also show you what I'm getting ready to start today. This is in a Grinch folder by Steno Stitches. This was my Christmas Day start. Did not do a lot of stitching over Christmas. We were out of town, but we got back dinner time or so Christmas Day. So I decided to go ahead and start this Christmas Day night. This is Log Cabin Christmas by Little House Needleworks. I told you I started at Christmas Day, so December 25th, 2024. I'm doing it on 40 count Zweigart Raw, and I am doing all 9 on one piece of fabric. And I did 1,659 stitches. I got the entire first block done. That's 10.4%. So that is my last WIP. And I was going to show you, I am going to start today, after I get done editing this while it processes. If you watched my last False Tube, you saw that my Christmas present to myself, this is in another bag by Barefoot Needle Arts. My Christmas present to myself was, I found Touching the Autumn Sky on eBay for a price I was willing to pay. And so I'm getting ready to start that. And I was just going to show you, I chose my fabric. So I had gotten a fabric from Oak Crown Studios in their December club that I thought was possible. I'd ordered one from Pam at Stitch New England that I thought was possible, but I ended up finding one in my stash that I like the best, and this is Atomic Ranch Forget Me Not in 32 count Lugana. And so it has the kind of movement of the clouds, similar to the one I ordered. The one I ordered from Pam was Grace Notes, something with a C, I think. Colleen, which is very much like this, except the blues were a little bit different. This blue has a hint of purple to it, more of a lavendery, and it looked better. To me, it looked a little bit better and a little less stark with the flosses, and had a little bit more of that autumn vibe. So that's why I ended up going with this one. But so I'm going to start that today. So if you watch my next episode, which I'm planning to hopefully record this weekend, you'll see a start on that. Anyway, that is everything. I'm pushing just over 2 hours, so hopefully you haven't been too bored. Hopefully I haven't talked too fast. If you have any questions about things I showed, or I forgot to mention something, again, there's a spreadsheet link below that tells, has all my projects in the order I showed them. And that may answer your questions, but if it doesn't, or you just rather not have to hunt for it, feel free to ask me a question in the comments, or send me an email at criminallycreative1@gmail.com, or you can message me on Instagram. I'm criminallycreative1 there. I don't know if I mentioned early on, I'm also Legal Eagle on Ravelry, which if you're a knitter or you just happen to be over there and you want to message me there, feel free. I'm not on Ravelry as often. So if you do message me there, it might be a week or so before I see it, or 2 or 3 weeks. Sometimes I'm on there 2 or 3 times a week, and other times I'll go 3 or 4 weeks without being on Ravelry because I just don't knit as much as I used to. There was a time when I was on Ravelry like multiple times a day. Anyway, I'm off on a tangent now. I'm going to go because I need to get this edited and try to get this uploaded. And I hope that everyone is having a happy new year so far. I hope you had a wonderful holiday season. I think Hanukkah's still going on. Is Kwanzaa still going on? Whatever you celebrate, I hope it was good or is good, or that you're having a great time. And I hope you have a great new year. So I will talk to you later, and I guess that's it. Bye, y'all.